Recording right now. All right, everybody. So today I have a guest on the show. His name is Refat Ametov, and Refat is the co-founder of Devstark, which is a software development company and a product studio from Romania. So thank you so much, Refat, for being here with us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and so I usually invite people who run their own software houses on the show, and maybe you can let us know something more about Devstark and briefly explain if it's like a traditional software house where you're basically just doing body shopping or team leasing of people, or is there something extra to it, and you have also some sort of product focus and maybe your own product. So maybe you can explain for people who don't know some basic information. What type of software company are you running, you know?
Yeah, sure. So you're definitely not a body shop. Devstark is a product development agency. We do develop products for our customers and we have internal products as well. And we have these kind of intersections between product development and service, providing this service, custom software development service. And that helps us a lot because we know how to build products from scratch. We know what is product market fit, GTM, and it helps us a lot when we talk to our customers, primarily startups and SMBs. And we have this kind of feedback that we kind of know the struggles, the challenges of founders. And for me, that's much more interesting work to do. I mean, developing products and rather be a technical partner for a end customer than just like selling out hours and providing purely services. And also with our specialization, that's much more easy to find customers and to do this, tech stack check, but also a vibe check so that we help each other and it is fun to work together with our customers.
Mhm. So many people, they have this dream when they have a software house, they will have one day a product or a startup and then they can close the company, but you tend to have both. So you have some products and you still didn't close the agency, you still have a service as well. So what made you, I know some stories where people just focus on their own product and they forget about the service offering because, or they run both, but the products never take off and they're kind of internal apps, not very popular. So how do you view this kind of, I don't know, battle? Like, do you focus on your own products or more on the client work, or is it split? Because I assume if some of the products is taking off, you need to hire a CEO and make it an actual company, and then it becomes its own like entity. So how do you
Yeah.
balance this?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we're trying, I mean, by we, me and my co-founder, Max, we trying to find this balance during all these years. And it is hard because it's obviously hard because sometimes they're being in conflict. I mean, the product development and the service, providing the services. But it helps a lot, like for both of the ventures, I would say. So, for instance, for the service agency, the agency, we, as I said, the product expertise is like providing a lot of insights and the background, how it works, and what is the essentially the main. I would say, if I could say put it in one word, it is the priority. So we know what works better, and we know from the product experience what would work with higher chance. Uh, from the perspective of the product, it is specifically the benefit of using the resources of our agency and also this kind of pros, I would say, for this approach. For the cons, as you mentioned, for sure, the lack of focus specifically for the product ventures, because sometimes you need to really dig into and sacrifice, like provide a lot of focus to uh, like to push things forward. Sometimes you might delegate some work and it works great in background, but that's kind of balance, and it's hard to achieve, but it is possible. For the plans of selling agency, we don't have any to the moment, but I think that's a option. That's a great option for the future. So far, it is very interesting to, yeah, by the way, one of the uh, biggest, I would say, pros of running an agency is the diversity of the projects in different niches, right? Because I saw a lot of cases for the startup founders, they being a great expert in one field or in one tech stack, and they struggle trying different approaches, different, uh, I would say, the technology on the edge. And with agency, it is much easier to switch between different fields, between different verticals, and specifically the tech stack. And that's kind of superpower to me, because um, even though we have some specialization, it is very interesting to and never boring. So we switch from one industry to another among our specialization, I would say shortlist. And it's always interesting to help some businesses with some challenges. And it's this expertise we apply to products as well. And also we kind of see much, yeah, we at least from our perspective, we see the real the market needs based on the variety of the challenges of our customers of the agency. So yeah, that's kind of struggle, but it is fun as well.
Right. Yeah, the only thing I've seen working in the past was the founder kind of set up a holding group and he actually hired someone to run the agency, run the SaaS companies, and he was just overlooking all of them. So he wasn't actually part of any of those. But I mean, there's many ways to structure this. It's just always
Yeah.
fun to learn about it, how other guys are doing this if they have multiple companies. So I'm wondering how big is
Yeah.
the company right now, maybe in terms of employees or like people working at the Devstark?
25, primarily engineering staff, and we are quite a distributed team.
Mhm. All right. So I assume since you're focused on like building products, you don't really care that much about the tech stack, or you don't have like a specific vertical, because you're basically able to build something from scratch from just from like a prototype to a UI UX and then development and release, I assume. So how do you go about sales then? If I understand that you don't really have like a niche or a specific industry you target, but what about, I saw on your website you have different landing pages for different industries and different, like, let's say startups or something like that. So there must be some level of customization for each of these. So do you have specific like a sales strategy for each of these industries, or do you just the way you get clients is it's from recommendations and it's not really that targeted, let's say?
Yeah, first of all, we do have specialization and it helps a lot. And that definitely something I learned along the way, that the more focused you are, the better is outcome for both for you and your customers. And for specifically for Devstark, it is definitely the legal tech and med tech, and also ed tech and everything related to tourism, for instance. So we have a lot of track records, like a long track record for this industry specifically. We have also some other verticals of our focus, but that's, I would say,
Mm.
our primarily focus. And that helps us a lot, as I said. And that's kind of um, that works for the whole funnel, from starting with the landing page. as you mentioned, and then with the communication for communication with the customers and normalizing and storing the expertise and knowledge transfer, etc., and even having a pre-built blocks and pre-built libraries developed for these verticals. Um, Sometimes we contribute to open source community. Sometimes we just have some internal pre-built blocks that we successfully reuse for the same type of customers. That works quite good. And That's for the kind of first question. Regarding this sales pipeline, that's definitely word of mouth. As like since we are positioning as technical advisor, technical expert, we have a quite high referral rate, but we do both inbound and outbound marketing, and we have a sales pipeline. But it's primarily based on the content. For instance, I'm trying to contribute to LinkedIn and even got a AI. What was it? Top 1% of AI voices in LinkedIn by contributing to the communities and their articles and writing to our blog for sure, and also outreach. So we trying to outreach the ideal customers from our perspective, and it works in a different way. So sometimes it works great. So I would say the more colder approach, the worse result we have, and that's kind of natural and obvious. But what works great for us is working with the communities. So we're trying to contribute first, share our expertise, share our case studies, and how we uh, overcome some challenges, specifically the technical challenges. And then we got some feedback, and sometimes we continue advising some companies, and they become our customers.
Hmm. Makes sense. So I assume most of your clients are basically from all over the world, or is there a specific, region where you have most of your clients?
Yeah, historically that was the US and the Northern Europe. Uh, yeah, primarily this Sweden.
All right. So what do you think? Because I'm speaking to many founders and they're a bit worried about the whole custom software development kind of going extinct in the future. So what's your take on the future, given that there's these AI agents and AI in development and even SaaS is not safe now. So like what do you think is maybe the future of the company that's building custom software solutions? Like, do you think it's gonna like the big outstaffing, outsourcing projects will go to East Asia because the rates are just not competitive in Europe anymore,
Mm.
and then the European market will be more focused on these like high quality product development, and the development itself will be just not that important? Like, what do you think is the future of the industry where we are?
Yeah, yeah. That's a good question. So I don't think we'll explore less SaaS companies in near future. What I think about this all AI powered development, I think that's rather a great amplification for development resource rather than some potential substitution. So definitely, I don't think. Actually, I expect more developers to come, and that will lead to real democratization. So as um, Karpati said, English is the best programming language probably now with the popularity of LLMs. Of course, that will have some side effect for sure related to quality and to when you use LLMs in your development for some. So my explanation is for some developers it's like a huge amplifier, but for some developers it's like I'm I build something in one day and I'm trying to debug it for 1 month or something. So I think um, that makes more emphasis of the importance of the good technical background, the architecture background, the amount of projects and use cases you observed, and you have expertise in some like domain expertise, including domain expertise. So that all, to me, that's all. Um, to sum it up, I don't think the landscape will change significantly. That's rather about some partially that because of some hype that I don't know. Journalists they tend to overcomplify or making things more harder than they are, and to add some new features to the like quite great but not fantastic technology. But I don't I think and getting back to the geography, I don't think that the Asian developers would kind of significantly substitute European based on the US or the US based developers. That might be reflected on the specialization, as you mentioned, but I don't think so. For the custom development instinction, again, that's just a format, and for some companies it works great. For instance, we have some customers on early stage startups. We created software for companies from very beginning pre-seed to Series D, and they eventually went to in-house development to in this direction, and that's completely natural. And vice versa, like quite a big companies like Porsche, they used outsourcing companies and us specifically to create some piece of software because we got this like very niche expertise that they needed. And that's just about like different um, use cases and different, I would say, um, and also, I also see a huge trend for protectionism, right? So that different companies of regions, they tend to protect their resources, their services, their internal, in this case, the developers, and that will impact much more to me than that. I don't know, some other trends, or the fact that the rate of European developer is kind of higher than average Asian developer.
Hmm. Makes sense. So maybe my final question would be, what's your goal for this year with the company? And what is kind of like something you can share with us that is like a big milestone for you you want to achieve, whether in development or in sales or in anything like that?
Yeah, sure. So I guess we should split this again for service-based company and the product companies like we have for the Spread Simple specifically. Our main goal is increasing MRR, and we already have the stream of revenue that covers our expenses, but it would be much better if it provide revenue that essentially, I mean, if it's much more profitable. We have a plan how to achieve these metrics. And for the Devstark for this year, we plan to. So during the last 2 years, we became a truly AI lab with our own AI team internally, and having a quite a distinct and unique set of tools that helps us developing the AI-powered, LM-powered applications. And for this year, we would like to open source some of those building blocks, and we would like to make it more productized so that it works as a solution rather than a custom development services. So I think that will lead to much higher margin and much higher profit. And it would help us to work with much more companies in parallel.
All right. That sounds quite exciting. So thank you so much for joining us on the show. And if you want, if somebody wants to maybe ask you a question or, they might be wondering about your company, is there a place where you hang out where they can approach you or?
Um, yeah, like LinkedIn, I guess the best way to contact me.
All right. So we'll have your LinkedIn profile in the description as well as the URL for the website. So thank you, Refat, and yeah, have a great day.
Thank you, Jan. Have a great day.